Hello, welcome to GeekyHiJynx, home of the Mischief Makers, and today, it's my top 10 tag movies. So since starting YouTube, guys, I found a small YouTube community of people that love movies just like me. So many great people I've met along the way, and I'm meeting more new people too. And I can see that some of them have this little competition going when they hit certain subscribers, or just general little fun things to do within the movie community. And one of them was Mondo Chelloveck Movies, who I've just discovered recently through these competitions. Found his channel really good. I'll put a link to his movie channel in the description below. Really nice guy. And he tagged me in this top 10 tag movies. It's so hard to say. And you have to go through your top 10 movies of different genres and pick your favourite movie, which was a nightmare for someone like me because I love all kinds of films, and it was so hard. I was thinking, oh god, I love that movie, but I'm not cheating on you, but I also like you. It was really difficult. And at the end of this, I will be tagging 5 other YouTubers who are also within the movie community that I'm watching at the moment and would like to take part. And as Mondo Chelloveck said, there's no pressure to do this, it's just a bit of fun, and I'm going to choose 5 and go through them at the very end. So if you want to do this, I hope you do, because I would be interested to see what kind of films you go through. But let's get started. Now before I start, I actually haven't got any of these films to hand. I'm in the midst of moving out at the moment, so most of these are in boxes, all of these are in boxes, so we'll show a little picture here. And this was very difficult for me because I love so many films, but my favourite horror is The Omen. I watched it when I was about 13 years old, and it always left a lasting impression with me. It was the soundtrack by Jerry Goldsmith. Now take that soundtrack out of the film, you got a different movie altogether, but this was a film that left me with despair. I'm feeling a bit hopeless watching it, which was good because I never felt that emotion at that age, because I watched Ghostbusters, or I even watched Halloween. At Halloween I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But The Omen, I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I love the story, I love the ending, I love my good horror endings, I love my bad horror endings, and everyone who's a horror fan knows how it ends. I gotta mention, this is the 1976 Omen, not that new rebooted one. No, that wasn't so good. You can't beat the originals. Actually, sometimes you can. The Fly was better than the original. I'm getting off track. The Omen is my favourite choice for horror. What's my favourite animation? I was to and fro between this list all day. As soon as I got it, I was like, oh no. But I'm going to have to pick... Oh, this is so hard. I'm going to have to pick... I hate this list. but it's going to have to be... Nightmare Before Christmas. I would have chosen Coraline. I loved Coraline, but Nightmare Before Christmas is my OG animation. I've loved it since the day it came out. Love the soundtrack, I love the story, love the way it looks. I love stop animation. It's probably my favourite form of animation because of the technicality behind it. Back in the Ray Harryhausen days with Jason and the Argonauts, Clash of the Titans, even going far as back as Mighty Joe Young and King Kong, but back in the 30s. Love stop animation. Tim Burton did an incredible job with this film, and I watch it every Halloween and I watch it at Christmas. It's a double whammy. Now picking a drama is really difficult for me because most things have drama in it. The Lion King has drama in it, but that's more of an animation, so to find a drama was very difficult to think of one. But I'm going to probably choose Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino. Probably one of the first films I watched in my mid-teens, just as I was kind of breaking out and trying to discover movies on my own, when I started buying DVDs for myself instead of being given to them as presents. So Scarface was one of them, Goodfellas was one of them, and Pulp Fiction was another one. And as soon as I put Pulp Fiction on, and it was the cover with Uma Thurman laying on the bed with her legs crossed, I was thinking, what's this film about? Put it on, loved it. So quotable, with Samuel Jackson with the path of the righteous man is beset on all sides. I can quote the whole thing. Loved that scene, iconic scene. So many, the whole film's iconic, really, with Christopher Walken and the daddy's watch. And the beginning scene with the restaurant when she gets on the table. Great film, one of my favourite films of all time actually, but my favourite drama. Now comedy, like with all these genres, it's just so difficult for me, but comedy was a little bit easier. I had to think of a film that I watched when I was very young, like a kid, that I can watch now, put it on and still have the same enjoyment, and that's Airplane. I love that film. Leslie Nielsen? Leslie Nielsen, is it Leslie Nielsen? 1 second. Yes, Leslie Nielsen. He was hilarious in that film, and what I love about Airplane is everyone plays it straight. That's what's perfect about it. No one's like, whoa. It's just a straight-laced movie. Everyone's playing their roles like they would in an actual disaster horror film, and so quotable, like, surely you can't be serious. I am serious, but don't call me Shirley. Now my favourite sci-fi movie is a little bit easier to pick from, and I say that because it wasn't easy at all. Again, really hard. And I'm gonna pick Star Wars Empire Strikes Back because of the nostalgia, the score, the acting, the story, the feeling you get when you watch it. It's an amazing film. Again, it's in there in my top 10, top 20 movies of all time. Now, John Williams' score in this, amazing. Like Han and Leia's like theme gets me every time. I love it. Like when they're flying out that moon and then they go into that, they're flying into the asteroid, escaping the TIE fighters, and it's like I love it. And Imperial March, every time I'm out and I hear the Imperial March, I don't know what comes over me. I just get proper hyped. I'm like great film, love it, can watch it over and over again. And yeah, the ending, like everyone knows about the ending, Han being frozen in carbonite, what's going to happen next, being left on a really horrible cliffhanger because it's kind of a bad ending, but it's a classic film, I love it. Now, action film, I had to go with my gut. There's so many out there, but I'm going with Con Air because it's such a guilty pleasure action movie. It drips of cheesy action goodness. I could have gone with Die Hard, I could have gone with anything else, but John Malkovich, Nicolas Cage, put the Barney back in the box. Love that film. Like, it's a great action film. It's like, let me get a couple of beers, a pizza, chill out. I'm not going out today. It's raining outside. I'm watching Con Air. An hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. It's beautiful. It's such a good action film. Next genre is comic book. Now, comic book, this was so easy for me. I didn't have to think. There's so many good ones. Favorite comic book movie of all time, Spider-Man 2 by Sam Raimi. I'm a massive fan of Spider-Man. I love the guy. My favorite comic book character. And Spider-Man came at a time when I was watching a cartoon on Fox Kids. I just loved it. Any sort of figurine I could get of Spider-Man, I had. So when the first one came out, I was like, this is perfect. The second one's amazing. We have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, my favorite Spider-Man, Dr. Octavius, played by, is it Alfred Molina? I think I get his last name wrong. Great villain, perfect story, great special effects, and the train scene, the train fight scene, I don't care what anyone tells me. Captain America Civil War on the airport, Infinity War, the best fight scene is on the train with Spider-Man versus Dr. Octavius, perfect. Now when it comes to Western movies, struggled a little bit here because I didn't really watch any Westerns. I haven't really watched any Westerns at all. Like Westworld is about as far as I got. And I'm not going to pick that because it's more science fiction. But then again, I'm going to contradict myself in a second and give you Blazing Saddles as my favourite Western movie because it's the only one I've ever watched really from start to finish. I've seen other ones like Good, Bad, the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, all on TV on Sunday afternoons back in the day, like on Channel 4. And I sort of glanced at them and I was like, meh. And I just got on with what I was doing. But Blazing Saddles is my favourite Western. I know I'm cheating here, but I do apologise. But it's a favourite of mine. It's really funny, extremely dumb, and yeah, like it's very nostalgic to me. So I'm sorry I kind of cheated here, but it's the only Western I could think of. Now my favourite romantic movie, easy peasy, and it's Ghost with my dude Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. I remember Christmas time, I must have been about 10 years old, had my Etch a Sketch out. Heard watching a film called Ghost, and I was like, oh, is it like Ghostbusters? So on my Etch a Sketch I drew a picture of a ghost, and I started watching it, and I was like, this isn't Ghostbusters. And then I watched it. I must have been about 10, and I loved it. I always remember like the little demons dragging the bad people to hell, but I remember the soundtrack and the story. Really gravitated towards Sam, Patrick Swayze's character, and when I watch it as a teenager, and every time I watch it, it always gets me crying, especially at the end. I'm not ashamed to say that, but at the end, when Sam's saying goodbye to Demi Moore's character, who I forget, oh god, I need to watch it again, but when they part ways and Sam goes to heaven and that music's kicking in, gets me every time. Love Ghost. Now this last category was very difficult for me. I'm just going to put it out there. My favourite film of all time is Jurassic Park, and I'm not even sure that's an adventure film, because I had to go on IMDb and be like, is Jurassic Park an adventure film? It was like science fiction, action, adventure, drama, and I'm like, what list do I put it on? So it's not going to be on any list because it's my favourite film of all time. Love it. But my favourite adventure film of all time, this was so difficult for me, but I'm going to go with, it's an Indiana Jones film, and I was going between the Temple of Doom or the Last Crusade, because I love them both. Love the first one, but the first two just sit in a special place in my heart. And I'm going to go with the Last Crusade because Sean Connery is the perfect dad for Indiana Jones, the like the banter they have and the chemistry they have. They not just off screen, but on screen. They just drip of chemistry. I love it. And their one-liners like, Junior, you named your son after the dog. All good stuff. But it's just I love the whole concept of going after the Holy Grail, the trials Indiana Jones had to do at the very end. I remember it so well. Like the twist with the backstabbing of Indiana Jones with the woman halfway through, the bit in the sewers with the rats, the chase on the boat chase scene on in Venice with those people that are trying to protect the Grail. It's such a good film. I know what, I'm watching it again soon. I'm watching the whole thing because Indiana Jones is my favourite trilogy of all time. Now I'm going to tag 5 people from different channels into this so they can give me their top 10, because I really would be interested. If you don't want to do it, it's absolutely fine. But the 5 I'm going to pick, I enjoy their channels quite a bit, love all their content, and I really want to know what they think. And I've seen a few other YouTubers have done this list already, so I don't want to spam them and say I've got to do it again. So I'm going to give 5 people who may or may not have done this yet, so I want to see what they think. So let me get my phone out, and let's go with my main dude, and that is, why am I looking? I know who he is. I was trying to get the list for the other people ready. It's Sean from Lost in the Reel. I really want to know what your top 10 are. If you don't know who he is, if you haven't checked out his channel, he's excellent. I love his stuff. Like every day he posts something, I literally like, oh, Sean's on, give him a cup of tea, watch his stuff. We have a little bit of a chat after about what the film you've watched, what he thought, what I thought. Great guy. If you haven't checked him out, I'm doing shout outs but as well. But I know I'm not meant to do shout outs, but I'm going to shout out. I'm going to shout out all of these guys. But yeah, Sean, I want to see what you think. The next person, now I'm going to have my phone out, not because I can't remember your YouTube channels, but I need to remember who I picked. But The Upside Down, Dan from The Upside Down, another great guy, great content, love his stuff all the time. I'd love to see you do a top 10. There is... Next person I choose is Old AF Reviewers. Really nice guy, like subbed to me early on, I subbed to him too. Really good content, really nice guy. I'd love to know where his top 10 is. If you've done one already, let me know and I'll check it out. But I'm just going on top of my head of people I'd like to see do this list. Next person would be Man of Movies. Great YouTuber, so his reviews are so on point, it's quite ridiculous. And I look at mine and I'm like, oh god, I waffle on for ages. But excellent YouTuber. I want to see what your top 10 is. And my last one is a guy called Dino from Dino Reviews. Really good YouTube channel, does some really good like top 10s and rankings. He's done the Wrong Turn recently. Really nice guy, like helped me out do some stuff on Instagram because my stories weren't looking good, and I asked him to help me out, and he gave me some massive little post of how to help me out, make him look better. So thank you, Dino. So I want to see what your top 10 is too. Thank you again to Mondo Chelloveck for tagging me into this, because I see other people doing it and I was like, I really wish I could get involved. So you tagged me into it, I was really happy, really enjoyed this list. Also check out his channel, really good stuff, like very niche horror films and other movies that I've never actually heard of. And he mentioned one the other day called, oh, what was it called? I'm live on your channel right now. Have I just lost it? Crime Rave by Sam Raimi. I was like, Sam Raimi? I love that guy, I love his stuff. Never heard of him. I'll watch it this weekend. I'll come back to his channel on that comment section and let him know what I thought of it. But thank you again for tagging me into this. So guys, that was my top 10 tagged movies. That's so hard to say. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it the snooze fest or the greatest top 10 tagged movies you've ever seen? Comment to the comments and let me know what you thought of the movies I chose. Did you disagree? Did you like them? And if you like this video, drop me those likes because it always does help. But until next time, stay out of trouble.